Well, lots of airlines and airports breaking records during the spring break travel period. That covers most of March and April. And this week expected to be busy once again with Easter ahead on Sunday. That's when there's the issue of severe weather to take into account. A severe weather pattern, including the threat of isolated tornadoes, expected to develop once again in the plains, the south, and the Midwest. So big piece of real estate here. That's going to impact not just you getting to your destination, but perhaps heading home as well. Joining us now is Dallas Aviation Department spokesman Patrick Clarke. Patrick, thanks for being with us this afternoon on America's Weather Center. Of course, signs pointing to thunderstorms as they arrive at the end of this week. Friday night could be a concern, particularly in Dallas. When did your team start to notice this kind of pattern emerging for the week ahead?
Absolutely. And what a bad timing, right, with Easter on the horizon. So we have been watching the weather forecasts all week. And so we're telling travelers, if they're coming this weekend, pack some patience, right? There may be some delays. Arrive early and check your flight status before coming to the airport. Can't stress that enough.
Patrick, how much of a factor does wind play in your flights there at DFW and Dallas Love Field? I mean, we're expecting through the end of this week with these storms, I mean, even outside of the severe threat, you could still see wind gusts topping 20 miles an hour. Is there a threshold at play where you start to see some of that air traffic back up?
Absolutely. High winds is always a factor. And then you combine that with stormy weather, with heavy rainfall. This could result in delays, even diversions. So we have our staff on deck this weekend. We're constantly monitoring the forecast, and we are prepared for whatever Mother Nature sends our way this weekend.
Oh, yes. Mother Nature always kind of throwing her hand into the mix. So what preparations do you have at Dallas airports in the event that we do have weather that's going to play a role in any delays and cancellations? What are some of the steps that you and your team put into place?
So the first step we're putting into place is to let travelers know, arrive early. We're giving them at least 2 hours. This will account for any delays that may happen. We're also having our staff on deck in case we have to shut down a runway. We are in talks with other airports in case we have to make diversions even. So we're closely monitoring the situation, but we believe that if we follow these steps, our protocols in place, we should be okay. But again, the big message for travelers, because safety is, of course, the utmost priority. Pack some patience. If we have to delay some flights for safety, we might have to do just that. And we know travelers don't like delays, but safety is important. So we're watching the forecast to ensure that we're operating as safely as possible.
So Patrick, anybody who's listening to this thinking to themselves, okay, I'm flying into Dallas, or maybe I've got a flight out this upcoming weekend. Is there a day that you and your team are looking at that could maybe pose the biggest risk right now for seeing any delays or cancellations?
Yes, we're looking at Saturday night into Sunday morning. That's when we feel we'll have the most impact. But here's what we're also seeing. A lot of people are traveling tomorrow. We're seeing over 43,000 travelers Thursday. I think they're trying to get out of town before Good Friday, before the weather comes in. So Thursday is a good day to travel. We're seeing a lot of people coming in tomorrow. But come Saturday night, Sunday morning, that's when we feel the most impact will be felt.
All right, Patrick, then my follow-up question to that is, for anybody who needs to adjust their travel plans, what's your best advice to them?
My best advice is to call the airlines. We're working with our airline partners to accommodate any reschedules. So there are plans in place for any rescheduling that may take place. So call the airlines. Check with the airlines before coming to the airport.
All good stuff. I always check in with my airline. You never know. And especially when severe weather is on the table. Patrick Clarke with the Dallas Aviation Department, thank you so much for joining us on America's Weather Center. And hopefully folks take some good information away from this.
Fingers crossed.